It is close to bedtime, but your mind is still racing. You need some kind of distraction. You sit in your comfortable chair, a dim light illuminating the living room. On a small table beside you sits a magic box. With the click of a switch, you transport yourself into another world.
Good evening, friends of the inner sanctum. This is your host, Raymond.
Dark fantasy.
Murder at midnight.
The Strange Dr. Weird.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall.
A world of complete imagination, where you have the pictures. You listen enthralled and feel the shivers begin to run up your spine. This was the horror of radio.
KDKA of the Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing Company in East Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
In October 1920, Westinghouse obtained a commercial broadcasting authorization from the Department of Commerce's Bureau of Navigation. On November 2nd, 1920, KDKA transmitted its first scheduled broadcast.
We shall now broadcast the election returns. We are receiving these returns through the cooperation and by special arrangements with the Pittsburgh Post and Sun. We'd appreciate it if anyone hearing this broadcast would communicate with us, as we are very anxious to know how far the broadcast is reaching and how it is being received. While we're waiting for the returns to come in over the telephone, direct from the Post and Sun, I'll give you the list of offices in today's presidential election. Here they are. Some 30 million Americans are electing a president of the United States, a vice president, 34 United States senators, 435 members of the House of Representatives, governors of 34 states, and thousands of minor offices.
The station went on to provide regular programming thereafter. It was first to broadcast professional baseball by announcing the game between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Philadelphia Phillies on August 5th, 1921. On October 8th, 1921, KDKA aired the first live football game between West Virginia University and the University of Pittsburgh. By 1924, there were over 600 commercial broadcast stations in the U.S.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
On March 12, 1933, President Roosevelt used the broadcast radio to speak directly to the nation in the first of his famous fireside chats to help the country manage the Great Depression.
My friends, I want to talk for a few minutes with the people of the United States about banking. To talk with the comparatively few who understand the mechanics of banking, but more particularly with the overwhelming majority of you who use banks for the making of deposits and the drawing of checks. I want to tell you what has been done in the last few days.
I understand he was actually sitting in a room at the White House next to a fireplace during the broadcast. He went on to hold about 30 of these chats, giving the public unprecedented access to a president's policies and decision-making.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
December 7th, 1941, KGU in Honolulu, Hawaii broadcast several hours of live updates during the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor.
KGU in Honolulu, Hawaii. I am speaking from the roof of the Advertiser Publishing Company building. We have witnessed this morning the distant view, a brief battle off Pearl Harbor, and a severe bombing of Pearl Harbor by enemy planes, undoubtedly Japanese. The city of Honolulu has also been attacked, and considerable damage.
Yesterday,
This battle has been
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Millions of Americans tuned in to hear Harry Truman announce Germany's unconditional surrender in World War II.
I wish that Franklin D. Roosevelt had lived to see this day. General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations. The flags of freedom fly all over Europe.
They tuned in when Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech.
Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream.
Yes.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
And Neil Armstrong's first words on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The one thing that radio is most remembered for was the entertainment. News and sports were pretty much a given, but being able to sit in the comfort of your own home and be entertained by top performers of the day was truly remarkable. On May 21st, 1931, people tuned into something that was very different from the news, sports, and music.
The Witch's Tale. The fascination of the eerie, weird, blood-chilling tales told by old Nancy, the witch of Salem, and Satan, her wise black cat. They are waiting for you.
The Witch's Tale premiered and became the very first radio horror anthology program.
107-year-old I be today. Yes, sir, 107-year-old. Well, Satan, we got a lot of yarn to spin these folks tonight. So if you'll give word to douse all lights, we'll get right smack down to business.
Old Nancy, the hostess, was played first by stage actress Adelaide Fitz Allen. After her death, the role was taken over by then 13-year-old Miriam Wolfe. The stories were mostly original, written by the creator Alonzo Dean Cole, but there were a few adaptations.
What do you want of me?
To show you my home, Frankenstein. This barren cave up on the mountainside, exposed to the winds and howling beasts. Here I, the monster you created, live, whilst you reside in comfort. I want to show you my solitude, whilst you are planning marriage.
I thought you dead.
You made me too strong. The fall you had killed me could not destroy my body. I simply disappeared from man because man has shut me out. Even you cannot bear to look at my repulsive being. Even you, my maker. You, my God.
Maybe it's got some way to get in. You barred every outside door and shut at every window. Ah! In the next room. There's a light in the hole in that shutter.
It squeezed through and broke the pane.
With that heavy door key.
It's coming this way.
Shut the door, quick.
Too late. It slipped by me. Get away from me. Away. Shoot it. Oh, bullets don't stop it, and it's almost 6 o'clock. It's got me in the corner, and I can't get away.
Here, keep your wits. It's only a hand. You can throw it off like you did before. Then we'll find some way to destroy it.
There.
Good Lord!
It's pulling that table cover under the lamp. The lamp is falling. The oil's on the clothes. I'm burning.
You gotta save him, Bert. Even a dog can't die like that.
I can't get to him. There's a wall of flame between.
The clock. The clock. Oh, he's shot himself.
The series ran until June of 1938 over the Mutual Radio Network, as well as being syndicated. It ushered in the age of radio horror. But in 1938, the real horror hit home.
The Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations present Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air in The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
October 30th, 1938, Orson Welles, who had already made a name for himself with his Mercury Theater and playing the dual role of Lamont Cranston, alias The Shadow, on radio, began the third play in the radio series on CBS.
Ladies and gentlemen, the director of the Mercury Theater and star of these broadcasts, Orson Welles.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man's, and yet as mortal as his own. We know now that as human beings busied themselves about their various concerns, they were scrutinized and studied, perhaps almost as narrowly as a man with a microscope might scrutinize the transient creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. With infinite complacence, people went to and fro over the earth about their little affairs, serene in the assurance of their dominion over this small, spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or design, man has inherited out of the dark mystery of time and space. Yet across an immense ethereal gulf, minds that are to our minds as ours are to the beasts in the jungle, intellects vast, cool, and unsympathetic, regarded this earth with envious eyes and slowly and surely drew their plans against us. In the 39th year of the 20th century came the Great Disillusionment.
In the hour that was to follow, the nation panicked. Police lines were overloaded with calls from frightened citizens. People looked to the skies for spacecrafts. But what could have caused such a panic? Simply that hardly anyone heard the opening to the War of the Worlds. Instead, they tuned into a very popular program on NBC called The Edgar Bergen Charlie McCarthy Show.
Makers of Chase and Sanborn coffee, the superb blend you know is fresh, present the Chase and Sanborn Hour, and your host, Don Amici.
This is Don Amici, rounding up the Chase and Sanborn gang and greeting you for all of them.
Hey. What's going on here?
Oh, well, Charlie, Judy only meant that...
Yeah, I heard what she said. I heard.
Oh, shucks, Charlie. I was only complimenting you. Why, you ain't got nothing against me, have you?
No, but I can very easily develop something.
Oh, now, listen here. Now, that's too bad, Charles M. You see, I was hoping that I and you could sort of kind of get together like, you know. I started to like you.
You do?
I sure do.
Bergen, get your gun.
Never mind, Charlie. I'm sure you'll feel better when you know that our guest tonight is one of our mutual friends, honoring us with a return visit, the lovely Madeline Carroll.
Oh, Madeline, da-da-da-dum-da-da.
Thanks, Charlie, but we'll let Nelson Eddy do the singing. And it's the rousing, rip-roaring Song of the Vagabonds from the Vagabond King.
The opening singer that night, while popular, was doing one of his more unpopular tunes. So people did what they tend to do today. They changed the channel to CBS and heard...
The flash in the sky was visible within a radius of several hundred miles, and the noise of the impact was heard as far north as Elizabeth. We have dispatched a special mobile unit to the scene. We take you now to Grover's Mill, New Jersey.
I guess that's it. Yes, I guess that's the thing directly in front of me, half buried in a vast pit. Spectators now are pressing close to the object in spite of the efforts of the police to keep them back. This end of the thing is beginning to flake off. The top is beginning to rotate like a screw, and the thing must be hollow.
He's moving! Keep back! Keep those men back! Keep back! Keep those idiots back! Come on.
Ladies,
off! The top's loose! Look out, Dad! Stand back!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever witnessed. Wait a minute. Something I can see coming out of that black hole, two luminous discs. The eyes, it might be a face, might be almost... Good heavens, something wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one, and another one, and another one. They look like tentacles to me. I can see the thing's body. Now it's large as a bear. It glistens like wet leather, but that face, ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. No need to push the crowd back now. They're willing to keep their distance. The captain's conferring with someone. Can't quite see who. Ah, yes, I believe it's Professor Pearson. Yes, it is. Now they've parted, and the professor moves around one side, studying the object, while the captain and two policemen advance with something in their hands. I can see it now. It's a white handkerchief tied to a pole. Flag of truce. If those creatures know what that means, what anything means. Wait a minute, something's happening. A humped shape is rising out of the pit. I can make out a small beam of light against a mirror. What's that? There's a jet of flame springing from the mirror, and it leaps right at the advancing men. It strikes them head on. Oh, Lord, they're turning into flames. Now the whole field's caught up by the woods, the barns, the gas tanks, and the automobiles spreading everywhere. Coming this way now, about 20 yards to my right.
After that, the imagination took over. Radio horror was now in its heyday. In the fall of 1933, NBC writer Willis Cooper conceived the idea of, quote, a midnight mystery serial to catch the attention of the listeners at the witching hour, end quote. The idea was to offer listeners a dramatic program late at night, at a time when the competition was mostly airing music. At some point, the serial concept was dropped in favor of an anthology format emphasizing crime thrillers and the supernatural. The first series of shows, each about 15 minutes long, ran on a local NBC station, WNER, at midnight, Wednesdays, starting in January of 1934. By April, the series proved successful enough to expand to a half an hour. In January 1935, the show was discontinued in order to ease Cooper's workload. He was then writing scripts for the network's prestigious Immortal Dramas program, but was brought back by huge popular demand a few weeks later. After a successful tryout in New York City, the series was picked up by NBC in April of 1935 and broadcast nationally, usually late at night and always on Wednesdays.
Ironized Yeast presents
Lights Out, Everybody.
Cooper stayed on the program until June of 1936, when another Chicago writer, Arch Obler, took over.
It is later than you think.
This is Arch Obler bringing you another in our series of stories of the unusual. And once again we caution you, these lights-out stories are definitely not for the timid soul. So we tell you calmly and very sincerely, if you frighten easily, turn off your radio now.
There wasn't any place for anyone to hide. I saw that stone. It seemed to come down out of the air. So slowly.
Florence, if you don't stop talking like that...
I remember what Edna said. It throws things.
Stop looking at me like that. You're giving me the jitters.
She said the poltergeist throws things. Spirit of evil.
Florence, Rob, have you gone crazy, too?
Why should we laugh at things like that? What right have we got to laugh? How do we know there aren't powers we can't see or understand? Powers of evil that revenge an insult just like an evil man. Kay, how do we know?
What are you talking like that for? What are you trying to scare me for? You're supposed to be the most intelligent one of us all. You with your college degrees. Sure, I danced on the grave. But the dead are dead and they can't revenge a thing. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of anything. I tell you, what?
It's Edna.
Come on.
Edna, we're coming to you. Don't be afraid. We're coming.
Open the door, Florence. It's not locked.
Duck, it won't
Here,
do.
let me. Edna, what is it? What? Ah!
Edna, what? On your head.
A character might be buried, eaten, or skinned alive, vaporized in a ladle of white-hot steel, absorbed by a giant slurping amoeba, have his arm torn off by a robot, or forced to endure torture, beating, or decapitation, always with the appropriate blood-curdling acting and sound effects.
I like concrete, don't you?
Yes, it is clean.
Yes, covers everything. You know how deep that concrete is? 3 feet deep. Yes, ma'am, 3 feet deep. And I just poured it an hour before you honored me with your presence. 3 feet. That'll make a mighty thick slab of stone, won't it, Miss Nord? Thick enough to cover you. Yes, indeed. A fist at the point of the jaw, still a most effective soporific. You're quite a light woman, my dear Miss Nord. Up you go, and in you go. Face down. What an unusual bed you lie in, Miss Nord. Sinking down and down and down. And the concrete will harden, and I guess I will have to get myself a new housekeeper.
Who's to blame? Who's to blame? Who's to blame? It's that kid who's to blame. Yeah, we read it in the papers. That crazy college kid. There he is. That's him. That's him. No, let me go, you fools, you. I've done a great thing, a wonderful thing. Created something no one ever thought of. No, let me down. Let me down. Let me down, you fools. I started the song, but I didn't know this would happen. You can't blame me for a miracle. Throw him in the hole. No.
Yeah, throw him in the hole. He made it.
No, don't throw me down in here. There's no bottom to it. No.
Radio horror continued and became more and more popular. One of the most memorable programs was created by Hyman Brown and premiered on January the 7th, 1941.
Hello. Hello. Oh, there you are. I was afraid for a moment that you had forgotten our appointment. Why, you almost scared me to death. And that won't do after all the pains I've taken to scare you. You remember me, don't you? I'm your host on behalf of the makers of Carter's Pills. And you're to be my guest tonight in the mysterious circle of the inner sanctum.
The program's familiar and famed audio trademark was the eerie creaking door which opened and closed the broadcast. Hyman Brown got the idea from a door in the basement that squeaked like hell.
I was doing Dick Tracy, and it was very, very successful. And in those days, we had live sound effects. I'm talking about the late 30s. So you'd have a whole series of doors. There was a door for when you went into the bank, and then there was a door when you went into a farmhouse. Then there was a screen door, and there was a jail door. There were all kinds. There was one door where the hinges were gone and the door was practically gone that squeaked and creaked. And I would use that when we were doing a Mysterioso type of storyline. That door was door number 11B or some such thing, and I would write down, bring that door to the studio that day. But that door really talked to me. That door said, make me a star. I had a show called The Creaking Door, and he loved The Creaking Door. But he said, I don't like the title. Don't ask me why. It put some ideas in his head, I suppose. I don't know. And out of just sheer nonsense, because I was a kid then, 1940. I was really young at this. I said, there were a series of I saw an ad in the New Yorker magazine, which had just begun in 1928, and was beginning to become a very important magazine, for a Simon & Schuster series of mysteries, detective stories called Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Oh, he said, that'd be a great title. Inner Sanctum, The Creaking Door. You go in, and you don't know what's on the other side of the door, said I. Fine. So now I had to get the rights to Sanctum Mysteries, which I went and got from Simon & Schuster. We plugged a book every other week or some such thing. They gave me all the rights to Inner Sanctum.
In all, 526 episodes were broadcast. The use of a host was to be copied by many other programs.
Good evening, friends of the Creaking Door. This is your host to welcome you into the inner sanctum once again. Come in. Our little place may not be a mansion, but it has its advantages. For one thing, it's thoroughly scare condition. The scream pipes are always in good working order, and the rent's quite reasonable. We get a cut rate.
What do you want?
I'm from police headquarters. You better let me in.
What do you want?
I want some information about that dog that was buried in your garden.
Oh, you're crazy.
Who buried it there?
There's no dog in my garden.
Was there a dog in the house?
I don't know.
You'd better answer my questions, Mr. Adams, unless you prefer going to jail.
I don't know anything.
Who killed Mrs. Putnam?
Everybody. Everybody hated her.
What do you mean by that?
Everyone in that house wanted her to die. Her brother cursed her. Williamson might have poisoned her.
What about you?
Me? I didn't hate her anymore. She promised to leave all her money to me.
Oh? Why?
Well, it was her only sign of repentance.
I washed the knife. Quickly, but carefully. Very quickly, but very carefully. Didn't take long. The stains hadn't hardened much. The brown stayed.
Carl?
Yes?
Someone to see you. A man.
What does he want?
He didn't say, except that it was in... They said he's a lieutenant. A Lieutenant Gregg. From the police.
Oh, well, now it's really time to close that there squeaking door until next Tuesday. So, until then, good night. Pleasant dreams.
One of the longest-running anthology programs was Suspense.
Suspense.
Alfred Hitchcock directed its audition show for the CBS summer series Forecast. This was an adaptation of The Lodger, filmed by Hitchcock in 1926.
This is Hollywood and CBS presenting Forecast number 4. Herbert Marshall, directed by Alfred Hitchcock in the first program of a proposed new series entitled Suspense. Tonight's Forecast program, ladies and gentlemen, represents the ideal form of collaboration. Mr. Alfred Hitchcock, brilliant English director of such outstanding motion pictures as The 39 Steps, Rebecca, and Foreign Correspondent, was eager to create a very special type of radio drama, the suspense story. As narrator and star for his production, he thought at once of the distinguished actor with whom he had been associated in countless British film successes, Herbert Marshall. Mr. Marshall suggested that they dramatize a certain favorite story of his. And that story happened to be the very one Mr. Hitchcock had had in mind. Mrs. Bella Clown's classic in Chills, The Lodger.
Both Marshall and Hitchcock decided on the same story to bring to the airways, which happened to be a favorite of both of them, The Lodger. Alfred Hitchcock had filmed the story in 1926, and since then, it had remained as one of his favorites.
And now, Mr. Kennett, I understand you heard this man speak.
Oh, yes. He had a rather high, hesitating voice. An educated man, I would judge, but quite mad.
What do you mean by that?
Well, as he emerged from the fog, he was talking aloud to himself. Believe me, sir, he was reciting scriptures from the Bible.
Herbert Marshall portrayed the mysterious lodger, and co-starring with him were Edmund Gwynn and character actress Lorraine Tuttle as the rooming housekeepers who start to suspect that their new boarder might be the notorious Jack the Ripper.
Oh, Bunting, tell me, Bunting. Where's Daisy? Where is she? I say, where?
Why, home.
Oh, listen to me. Try to understand. Sleuth is the Avenger.
What are you saying?
Oh, Lodger. He's the Avenger, Bunting. Oh, but there's no time for that. Daisy's in danger. Hurry. Hurry.
Yes. Daisy. Daisy!
Adapting the script to radio was not a great technical challenge for Hitchcock, and he cleverly decided to hold back the ending of the story from the listening audience in order to keep them in suspense themselves. This way, if the audience's curiosity got the better of them, they would write into the network to find out whether the mysterious lodger was, in fact, Jack the Ripper.
She's not here. What about the dining room?
Look, she's not there. She's not downstairs.
Then there's just his room. Go on. Open the door.
Hundreds of letters came in from faithful listeners asking how the story ended. Actually, a few wrote threats claiming that it was indecent and immoral, end quote, to present such a production without giving the solution.
Okay, Mr. Hitchcock. Crack, cut, and clear.
Did you say cut? What's the idea, Hitch? I have a few more lines to do.
As Mr. Marshall, the narrator, you have, not as Mr. Sleuth, the lodger.
Hitch, you can't stop the play right here. It isn't fair, you know.
Why isn't it, Bart?
What became of Mr. Sleuth?
Oh, him. Why, he left that afternoon. They never saw him again. And now I think we ought to say something about the Columbia forecast
Mr.
so
Hitchcock,
far.
sir, will you please...
Stop him, Mr. Marshall. Hitch, listen to me.
Yes? What is it?
They want to know when the Avenger finally was caught.
Oh, well, let me ask you something, Bart. Are you acquainted with Loretta Young?
Yes, what's that got to do with it?
Well, in next week's Columbia preview series, Miss Young will take the starring role in the drama of an American Red Cross nurse. That's good news, isn't it?
Oh, that's great. But now listen, Hitch, you've just got to tell that audience exactly when and how Mr. Sleuth was caught.
Caught? Why on earth should he be caught?
Why? Well, he was the Avenger, wasn't he?
Was he?
Suspense would run until 1962, with 945 original broadcasts. The most popular of these, originating 7 times throughout the series, was a play titled Sorry, Wrong Number.
Let it ring. Let it go on ringing. It's a trick of some kind. It's a trick of some kind. I won't answer it. I won't, even if it goes on ringing all night. I won't answer it. I won't answer it. Now, what's the matter? Why did they stop ringing all of a sudden? What time is it? Where's my clock? Oh, where did I put it? It's 5 to 11. They've decided something. They're sure I'm home. They've heard my voice answer them just now. That's why they've been ringing me. Why no one has answered me.
If the actress playing the lead role sounds familiar, then you probably remember a TV series titled Bewitched. That is indeed Agnes Moorehead, who played the part of Samantha Stevens' mother in Dora.
Your call, please. Where were you just now? Why didn't you answer at once? Give me the police department. Oh.
I'm sorry, the line is busy. I will call you.
Busy? But that's impossible. The police department can't be busy. There must be other lines available.
The line is busy. I will try to get them for you later.
No, I've got to speak to them now. It may be too late. I've got to talk to someone.
What number do you wish to speak to, please?
I don't know, but there must be someone to protect people beside the police department. A detective agency.
You will find agencies listed in the classified directory.
But I don't have a classified. I mean, I'm too nervous to look it up, and I don't know how to use the directory.
I will connect you with information. Perhaps they will be able to help you.
No. Oh, you're being spiteful, aren't you? You don't care, do you, what happens to me? I could die and you wouldn't care. Oh, stop it! I can't stand anymore.
The play was written by Lucille Fletcher, who also penned another popular suspense outing titled The Hitchhiker.
I knew I'd see him again. Maybe at the next turn of the road. I knew that when I saw him next, I would run him down. But I didn't see him again. I didn't see him until late next afternoon. Stopped a car at a sleepy little junction just across the border into Oklahoma to let a train pass by. When he appeared across the tracks, leaning against a telephone pole. Perfectly airless, dry day. The red clay of Oklahoma was baking under the southwestern sun. Yet there were spots of fresh rain on his shoulders. I couldn't stand that. Without thinking, blindly, I started the car across the tracks. He didn't look up at me. He was staring at the ground. I stepped on the gas hard, veering the wheel sharply toward him. I could hear the train in the distance now, but I didn't care then. Something went wrong with the car. The train was coming closer. I could hear its bell ringing and the cry of its whistle. Still, he stood there. And now I knew that he was beckoning me to my death.
The lead role was portrayed by Orson Welles, and later it would be adapted by Rod Serling for his TV series, The Twilight Zone.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
Another notable series was produced, written, and directed by Willis Cooper, who had created Lights Out. The show's star and announcer was Ernest Chappell. It debuted on the Mutual Network June 8, 1947 through June of 1949, with a total of 106 shows.
The Mutual Broadcasting System presents Quiet, Please, which is written and directed by Willis Cooper and features Ernest Chappell.
The most notable? A show entitled The Thing on the Horrible Board.
And I heard a little sound. The sound of a kid crying. And there wasn't any kid up there. And I heard it again, and it came from above my head, and I took out my revolver. I loaded it carefully. I started up the ladder to the forward board. Well, there wasn't anything up there, nothing I could see. There was a voice crying. The voice of a little kid. And then there was a movement behind the rack of drill pipes, and I saw the pipe move, and I yelled, "Come out of there, whoever you are! Come out or I'll start shooting!" And the stand of pipe shivered, and I thought, what can it be that can handle that heavy pipe like jack straws? And then there was a crash. The whole stand of pipe fell over, and I just got out of the way in time. And I was alone on the forward board with the thing.
There would then be a plethora of programs introduced to cause the spine to tingle and the listener to lose sleep.
Sleep no more. Sleep no more. Turn down the lights. Sink back in your chair and don't look into the shadows. In the shadows, there may be moving things. Tonight, it may be, you will sleep no more.
The Mutual Broadcasting System presents The Mysterious Traveler. Written, produced, and directed by Robert A. Arthur and David Cogan. This is The Mysterious Traveler, inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and the terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, that it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back, get a good grip on your nerves, and be comfortable, if you can.
Dark fantasy.
I am the man who came back.
The creaking door. No, stay where you are. Do not break the stillness of this moment, for this is a time of mystery, a time when imagination is free and moves forward swiftly, silently. This is the Haunting Hour.
The Mummers in the Little Theater of the Air. Now, the Hermit.
Ghost stories, weird stories, and murders, too. The hermit knows of them all. Turn out your lights. Turn them out.
Can the dead return to life? Listen to the Weird Circle.
Many famous actors and actresses were featured in various productions. Vincent Price, Bela Lugosi, and Peter Lorre all had their own series.
Mystery in the Air, starring Peter Lorre, presented by Camel Cigarettes.
Many other horror anthology programs were scattered across the country, airing only on the West Coast or were more localized.
I'm the Whistler.
It is a quarter of an hour until midnight. Time for us to go to the Black Castle. Each Friday evening we come to this remote spot, a place of mystery and terror, where a gaunt-footed figure appears and sits at the keyboard of the ruined old organ, mumbling and gibbering his fantastic tales as his talon hands grip the crack.
Little do they know.
There were plenty of detective dramas and even science fiction, but the horror programs were always favored. Along came the 60s, and radio drama had all but died out, with the last play of Suspense airing on September 30th, 1962. Radio was regulated back to music, news, and sports.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall.
Until Hyman Brown, creator of Inner Sanctum in the 1940s, came along yet again.
We're going to be on the air 7 nights a week with a 53-minute complete mystery drama each night. 7 nights a week. Never in the history of radio broadcasting did anybody attempt to do a series 7 nights a week. The idea was one of many that I had in my heart and in my gut for the last 5, 6, 8 years, and I've been trying with networks and with agencies to make them realize that radio drama is one of the most unique forms of entertainment in the world of theater, in the world of communication. And they somehow didn't respond to me. You must know from all that happens on your program and the responses you get that radio drama offers a listener something which they could not conceivably get in theater, in motion pictures, or in television. Your imagination, you, yourself, your fantasy, comes to the spoken word, and you create a unique form of identification, a unique relationship to what's happening, and it enhances. I call it color radio. You can do anything you want with your imagination once I lead you to the point of exercising that imagination.
The creaking door was opening again, and in 1974, Thrills and Chills, The Fear You Could Hear, returned. Broadcasting 7 nights a week, the CBS Radio Mystery Theater had 1,399 original episodes over a 9-year period.
Cold, the smell, decayed.
No. He's unconscious. We'll talk to him later. Volga, did your men find anything else?
Just the grass. It's curious, Tom.
I don't see anything, Klaus.
Yes, you do, Tom, but it doesn't mean anything to you. We weren't here when we found Flip. The area is flattened. And there's a same strange discoloration.
What's all this got to do with Frank here?
I don't know. But I promise you, I'll find out.
It's hard to see because there's a storm brewing. I see the leaves blowing and the trees bending. There's something else. A figure. A woman.
Oh, please. I mustn't slip or fall. He's following me. I know he's following. Oh, dear God. Help me. Help me.
I see something glowing. A dress. Yes. It's a dress. A long dress. The girl is holding it up as she's running. I have to catch it.
He's gaining. He's closer. I can see the gleam of the knife.
The dress. What color is the dress, David? Can you see? She's gone now. Gone. The color of the dress. Was it white? No. Not white. It was yellow. A yellow dress with a pale matching scarf and a lace handkerchief. The handkerchief is white, but the dress is yellow.
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
With its success, there proceeded even more radio anthologies.
The General Mills Radio Adventure Theater. Welcome. I'm Tom Bosley, bringing you the world of adventure, the world of your imagination, a world as vast as the universe, which you can enjoy through the magic of radio. All you need to do is listen.
The Price of Fear. Brought to you by Vincent Price.
Hello there. You might be aware that as an actor, I've become associated almost entirely with what are known as horror movies.
I'm Rod Serling. You're listening to the 0 Hour. Rest your eyes. Exercise your imagination. This week, Charles Larson's inside story of television murder. Someone's death.
That's the theme from Sears Radio Theater, which will be brought to you Monday through Friday on this station. Today, Vincent Price will bring you a generous helping of mystery and suspense. Tomorrow, Cicely Tyson will enthrall you with tales of love and hate, dramas involving human emotions. Friday, Richard Widmark will host tales of adventure in outer space, under the sea, anywhere there is adventure. Monday, you'll hear stories of the Golden West and the West we know today with Lorne Greene as your host. And on Tuesday, you can laugh with Andy Griffith as your host for things that are funny. The Sears Radio Theater will begin after this message from your local station.
Three girls on an island in the Aegean Sea, looking for a good time. The wine is cheap, and the ancient sun is blazing hot. It's the same sun which beat down on Poseidon when he made these islands from mountains he tore from the mainland. But these are modern times. It wouldn't do to ruminate too much on the antics of the gods of a bygone age. Not a good idea at all.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Within the far reaches of deep space, there remain unknown planets, journeys into galaxies yet uncharted. Stellar exploration is the newfound adventure. High above Earth's windy skies, 1,000 miles in space, a large wheeling disk lazily drifts in orbit. A space station whose official designation is the Arthur C. Clarke Astronomical Observatory. To those living and working aboard, it is simply called Starlab. Their lives and adventures become our story on the threshold of alien worlds.
Public broadcasting played a major role in the revival of radio drama, as well with the success of the Star Wars movies.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
She sounds smooth, Luke.
Yeah, I worked on her all day yesterday.
Well, listen, if you're planning on doing any racing, you can count me out, Skywalker. Tatooine is no academy, and you're no star pilot.
Not yet, anyway. Well, I adjusted the thrust sequence for extra boost. You better hang on to your seat.
Play for radio, The Maze, by Stuart Farrar.
There were imports from the BBC, the most successful being
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, starring Peter Jones as The Book.
The story so far. In the beginning, the universe was created. This has made a lot of people very angry and been widely regarded as a bad move. Many races believe that it was created by some sort of god, though the Jatravatid people of Viltvodel 6 firmly believe that the entire universe was in fact sneezed out of the nose of a being called the Great Green Arkelseizure. The Jatravatids, who live in perpetual fear of the time they call the coming of the Great White Handkerchief, are small blue creatures with more than 50 arms each, who are therefore unique in being the only race in history to have invented the aerosol deodorant before the wheel.
However, as it happened in the 60s, radio drama seemed to die out. There were the stations that carried the old-time radio shows, but original programming had all but died away.
It lies in wait amidst your dreams, where nothing is ever how it seems. It is a portal to a terrifying world beyond the doorway to nightmare.
With the internet and YouTube, there are now several creators and channels dedicated to not only playing the original radio programs like Inner Sanctum, The Mysterious Traveler and others, but an entirely new generation of artists who have come together to revitalize the theater of the mind. So the next time you just can't find anything to watch, try exercising your imagination.
Oh, well, now it's really time to close that there squeaking door until next Tuesday. So until then, good night. Pleasant dreams. Unfortunate.
Oh, you're getting off at the next stop. I'm sorry. But perhaps we'll meet again soon. I take this same train every week.
And so until next week at the same time, I am quietly yours, Ernest Chappell.
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
This is your host, inviting you to return with us through the doorway to nightmare for another adventure into the world of your terrifying imagination. Until next time, slumber peacefully. Epilogue. The butler did it.
You have been listening to The Horror of Radio, written and directed by Winslow Swan. This has been a presentation of Doorway to Nightmare. Thanks to the many contributors who have kept the art of radio drama alive, especially the horror of radio.